There was a time when I was the most insecure girl you would ever meet. From a series of events that I went through and some I put myself through, I had such poor self-esteem that I just let people treat me any way they wanted. Hey, I'm Terry Savelle Foy, your cheerleader of dreams. You know, one of my favorite quotes of all time is this: "The secret of your future is hidden in your daily routine." When I changed my routine, it changed my whole life. Now, one of the biggest keys I learned to change my routine was listening to inspirational messages that pointed my life in the right direction. So I want to ask you to subscribe to this podcast so you get constant inspiration and coaching to help you live your dreams. In fact, I want to share with you my personal list of positive affirmations to help you change your self-confidence. Now, I'm going to show you how to access the list in just a minute, but first, you hear a lot about making positive affirmations and how famous people like Jim Carrey, Tim Tebow, Conor McGregor, Justin Timberlake, to name a few, they practice this ritual of self-talk. I call it giving yourself a pep talk. Well, I have seen drastic changes in my self-confidence and in my life from dedicating just a few minutes a day to speak affirmations over myself. Now, you may or may not know some of the amazing things that God has done in our ministry and in my life, but to appreciate it, you have to know my backstory. I am so grateful to have been invited to speak at some of the largest churches and conferences in the world. Our ministry reached 21 million views recently on YouTube. We shipped resources like books and kits to 122 nations last year. So we have seen tremendous growth, but there was a time when I was the most insecure girl you would ever meet. From a series of events that I went through and some I put myself through, I had such poor self-esteem that I just let people treat me any way they wanted. From losing my virginity unwillingly in a gym one night by a guy I didn't even know, to being in an abusive relationship for over 2 years, to getting pregnant my senior year of college, losing a baby. I could go on and on. I was filled with so much shame, so much guilt and insecurity. I truly felt worthless. Well, years went by, and one day in September of 2002, I just looked at my life. I was separated from my husband, confused inside, no money in the bank, living paycheck to paycheck, credit card debt, unhealthy. My house was kind of in a mess. I had no vision for my life, and I had a 5-year-old little girl who's looking to me for a role model. Well, I looked into my future and realized unless I make a radical change, this is not going to be just like a season of regret. This is going to be a life of regret. And I began wondering, can God really transform my self-image, my marriage, my finances, my whole life? Can I make my dreams bigger than my memories? Well, I made a list of positive declarations to speak over myself. And they were things like this: I'm highly favored of God. I'm valuable, qualified, forgiven, and loved. I'm confident and courageous. I have extraordinary opportunities given to me. I started saying things like, I attract God-inspired ideas that produce great wealth. I have an abundance mentality. I have a prosperous mindset. I started saying these things. Then I started speaking over my body. I'm in the best shape of my life. I'm healthy and full of energy. I'm disciplined, spirit, soul, and body. I started speaking to my mind and saying I have a sharp mind. I have the wisdom of God to make the best decisions. I know that all things are working together for my good. Now keep in mind, these declarations, they were the very opposite of what I was experiencing. Every affirmation I made, it was made by faith. But little by little, my life was transformed into the very words that were coming out of my mouth. See, when it comes to overcoming insecurities, a poor self-image, even building your confidence, the most powerful thing you can do is practice this 2-step process. Number 1, stop putting yourself down. And that's not easy. I want you to remember, when negative things enter your mind about yourself and you're always voicing it, I want you to remember, zip it. See, don't forget this. Don't say things like, I look horrible. I look so fat. I hate my life. I never have any energy. I'll probably never get married. You might think those things, which we do, but don't speak them. Zip it, right? I hope you remember this. So number 1 is stop putting yourself down. Number 2, do the opposite. Start building yourself up with your very own mouth. Now, if you're like I was, you can restore your damaged self-image with positive, faith-filled affirmations. Greater self-confidence leads to a greater life. The Bible says that David encouraged himself in the Lord his God. Well, this video is all about you giving yourself a pep talk consistently and intentionally to achieve your dreams. Why? Because your voice is the most influential voice in your life. So let me just say, if you want to see where your life is headed, listen to the words that are coming out of your mouth. Since I began making positive, faith-filled affirmations over myself and my future, I have literally seen my confidence improve, insecurities subside, my courage has gone to new heights, my body get in shape, my ministry launched, my marriage restored. We're married 27 years so far. Books in bookstores. I've seen finances increase, a TV show air. I could go on and on. Impossible dreams come true before my eyes. And here's the thing, the same can happen for you. So in life, there's always 2 voices competing for your attention. The voice of faith and the voice of doubt. You cannot talk defeat and expect victory. Joel Osteen says, don't use your words to describe your situation, use your words to change your situation. So, I'm telling you today, your very own words will shape your world. In other words, when you constantly give yourself a pep talk by declaring what you believe about yourself, not what you feel about yourself, your actions will eventually line up with your words. So if you want to see where your life is headed, listen to those words that are coming out of your mouth. Today, I want to recognize our YouTube subscriber of the week. This week, it's Puri Cash. Is that how we say that? Puri? Puri Cash, that's cute. This is what they write. Hi, Terry. Thank you for your teaching on the power of a morning routine. Now I wake up at 5 a.m. for a good quiet time with the Lord. I read a book on my way to work and listen to podcasts in the evening when I'm making dinner. This is amazing. I'm on my way to achieving my dreams and I'm excited at the thought of it. Thank you so much. Puri, you are amazing. I started this podcast out by saying the secret of your future is hidden in your daily routine. And you have started a routine that I am convinced will lead you to your dreams. Thank you for taking the time to write in, Puri Cash. We are cheering you on. That's why I want you to have my personal list of positive affirmations. All you have to do is click the link in the description or go to terry.com/affirmations to get my personal list that I speak over my family, my finances, my fitness, and my goals every morning. And don't forget, for more consistent motivation, follow me on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and Pinterest. Find my handles below or click that little subscribe button for weekly videos to make this your best year yet. And remember, I'm cheering you on to live your dreams.